All right, well, we're heading over to Wayah Bald, and this is Unfiltered. He's driving us. He's the hostel owner. And in the back, is it okay if I film you guys?
Yep.
We have Lost Soul, and we have Ladybug, and we're heading back to trail from the hostel. And it's been a great morning so far. And that, I don't know if you can see those mountains, but that is where we're headed. And we'll be sleeping up there somewhere tonight. And Micah is very excited to be back on trail. As you can see, he's on my lap, ready to go. Starting off with the waterfall. Beautiful. And there's Ladybug and Micah. She's fixing her shoe. She got new shoes yesterday. Hi there, and welcome to day 14 on the Appalachian Trail. Heading north, and our destination is Wayah Bald, and looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. All right, we'll keep you posted on our progress. And we're hiking along, and we just passed a beautiful waterfall. Micah has 4 days of food in his pack, and actually 5 days of food, although I'm not sure he's going to need all 5 days, but I bought dog food, so I figured, well, he might as well take it. Weighed his pack. They had a pack weigher at the hostel, and he still, it was 4 pounds. And since he's 43.5 pounds when we left to go on this hike, he's below 10%, he's carrying 10% or less of his body weight, which is where I want to keep him. Got to keep my boy healthy, right, Micah? We got to keep you healthy. So I'm really delighted that he can carry that much food and not be above his recommended weight of carry. So that's good. Well, I'm going to put this away because it looks like we're starting to climb right away, which is good because it's a little chilly this morning and my mid layer is buried in my pack and I don't want to take it out. So I'm going to keep moving because that will warm me up. All right, we'll check in with you later. See you up the trail. Okay, well, we just took the Blue Blaze up to Siler Bald, and the view is amazing. And we're sharing it with a Boy Scout troop, right? You guys are Boy Scouts, right?
No.
Oh.
It's a school trip.
Oh, a school trip, all right. Good job, guys. And it is absolutely gorgeous up here. Wow. We're at, I think, 5,300 feet?
5216.
5216,
Yep.
Okay. That's Ladybug. And
Hey.
wow. This is amazing. Worth the 0.2 off trail and then the other 0.2 down to see this incredible view. Unbelievable. So I'm hiking down Siler Bald right now, and as you could see from the pictures, there was a 7th grade field trip, and they hiked up here. And I took a picture, they took a picture of me and their backs because they didn't get permission from family to have their faces. So they agreed to have their backs photographed. Anyway, we're hiking down now. There's, you could see Ladybug and Micah. Micah got a nice pack break and he got lots of treats from the kids. So he's very happy. And we dropped our packs at the bottom of this climb, and now we're gonna put our packs on and keep going. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. I feel so blessed to be here. We just stopped at this little creek and filtered water, and actually stopped and had a little lunch because I think we've got a big climb coming up over Wayah Bald. And then we have about 5 miles left to get to the shelter, which is where I'm going to camp for the night. And that will be an 11-mile day. So Micah had a little bit of tuna fish. He loves when I open up a packet of tuna fish. I eat about 3/4 of the packet and he eats the other quarter. And then he gets to get his dinner tonight as well as his breakfast this morning. So we're working hard to keep his weight up and he seems to be doing okay. All right, so the trail is there and we are heading up to Wayah Bald. We'll check in with you later. Been a beautiful day. I'm on top Wayah Bald and it was an amazing climb to get up here. And I think you missed it, but Micah already went up the steps to the side. He went to go see the view. And this is just a little plaque here to talk about who John Byrne was. He was the forest supervisor for the Nantahala National Forest. He was the youngest man to be appointed at 33 to be the National Forest Supervisor. And this talks about the first lookouts, the beginning of an era, and that it's been reconstructed over the years. And then more about the Appalachian Trail. So we're going to go up the tower now and I will show you the view, which I'm sure is amazing. And this is the view from the top of the tower. Incredible. There's a parking lot down there and a bunch of thru hikers. Looks like they're congregating. That's where the AT, I have to go back down to the AT over there. That will bring me to the shelter. And according to this plaque, those mountains in the background are the Smokies. And that's where I'll be heading next week. Well, I made it to Wayah Bald Shelter and it's a beautiful evening. It's 59 degrees and I thought when I got here there was nobody here. But I knew that the Boy Scout troop that I met over at Siler Bald, which is where you saw some of those beautiful pictures, they were coming this way, so I knew I wasn't going to be alone. Being alone would have been fine with Micah. I'm not worried at all. But it's also nice to have company. They're a nice group of boys. They like Micah too. But I wanted to show you another shelter here. This one looks pretty nice. I could sleep in the shelter tonight, but I decided to set up my tent because I actually didn't know if the boys were going to use the shelter. But there are things hanging down here where you can hang your pack during the night if you want to hang your pack up there. It looks like somebody made a fire. You can make a fire inside here, which I've never seen that before. Usually you see the fire outside, the fire pit outside the shelter. Then there's usually some shelves like this where you can cook your dinner, and that's probably where I'll cook mine. There's the privy, which is basically a toilet. And there are no doors because you don't want to be touching things. You just kind of go in, do your stuff, and you leave. Frankly, I prefer a cat hole. But I'm going to walk you around over to my tent. Since I was the first one here, I was able to set up a nice spot, which is great. Usually I'm not the first one at the tent site. And, you know, usually there's one that's a slant or something. But I got a nice flat spot tonight. So I'm psyched. There's my tent. And I'll show you my sleep system because somebody was asking about that. And my tent is a Big Agnes. It's called the Big Agnes. It's a one-person tent. It's a double wall tent, which means it's a little heavier than a single wall tent, but you don't get the condensation. Single wall tents, you tend to get condensation. And with two people, well, two creatures breathing, Micah and I spent all last summer backpacking with a single wall tent. And by the end of the summer, it just didn't work for us. There was so much condensation on the tent that I was actually getting wet inside the tent, which I just can't deal with. I don't want to be wet inside my tent. So this Big Agnes, I've used it so far on this trip, and I was in a horrific rainstorm in the beginning of the hike, and I was bone dry. So I'm really happy so far with the Big Agnes. So anyway, I just opened it up here, and I just want to show you my sleep system. So the first thing I do when I get to camp is, actually the first thing I do when I get to camp is I change my clothes because I'm sweaty and you don't want to get a chill. So I change my clothes. After I change my clothes, I set up my tent, and then I put down my insulated mat for me, and then I blow up my pad. And I did have a little battery operated pump, which the on-off button broke. I emailed the company and asked them to send a new one, but they're in China and they take forever. So I think if I use a pin, I could probably start it. But anyway, I blew my pad up with my mouth this morning, this evening, which not my favorite thing to do after a long hike, but you do it. It's not a big deal. And then this is my pillow. It folds up into nothing. I have a 20-degree Western Mountaineer sleeping bag, which is so comfy. And the zipper is on the left, so I can really pull this up over my face if I needed to, because I'm not a very big person. And even though it's a small, it goes right up over my face if it's cold. And then I have inside my sleeping bag is a sleeping bag liner. This is called the Reactor, and it actually increases your warmth by 10 degrees. So with the liner and the Western Mountaineer sleeping bag, this is really a 10-degree bag, which is why Micah and I were pretty toasty when it was 18 degrees the other night. But tonight it's only going to go down to the 40s and we will be toasty. So that's my sleep system. And then what I do is, if it's a beautiful night like it is tonight, I keep the tent open just to keep it airy for a while. And I'm going to now go and filter some water. These are sort of your typical camp chores that you do when you get to camp. I'm going to go filter some water, so I have plenty of water for the evening and for my dinner. And then I'm going to cook my dinner. And if there's no one in the shelter when I'm cooking my dinner, I'll show you how I do that, because I am determined to get my niece, Vanessa, learning how to use a cook system, because she's into camping and there's no reason to be afraid of fire. It's really, really easy. It's lightweight, and you can make yourself some really nice meals while you're on trail. So anyway, there's Micah. As you could see, it's turning out to be an absolutely beautiful evening. And behind me are the Boy Scouts, so I'm not going to film them. I don't know if I have permission, although I did take their picture and they didn't mind before. Anyway, okay, enough of this for now. I'm going to go filter water and talk to you later.